The MJCCA's original application presented to the Community Council, to the Planning Commission, and even to you did not have any of the current religious efforts. This is not about religious freedom. It's about an attempt to hide the fact that assisted living facilities with more than 6 residents are prohibited in R100. The original application had no mention of prayer services offered, no dietary rules, no religious artifacts, and no mention of biblical scholars, and certainly no guarantee that those newly added scholars would actually even remain at this facility. Just wondering, do monasteries accept insurance payments? We've heard from some who claim that this facility is the Jewish equivalent of a convent or monastery, and even point to nearby convents. Legally, though, there are several huge differences. DeKalb County's definition states that residents in a convent or monastery must have, quote, professed vows in a religious order. This is the code of our county, and this part of the code would not be met. And we're not here debating a change in this part of the code. You are being asked to ignore what you swore to uphold. The application doesn't fit the definition of R100 or even the county's definition of a convent. A facility that offers some religious instruction is not the same as a place where people devote their lives to religion. Also, Georgia law, Section 31-2-4 in Chapter 7 of Title 31 of the Official Code gives authority to the DHR to license and regulate assisted living facilities. An assisted living facility is defined as a place that has 2 or more residents receiving personal care, like help with brushing one's hair or medicines, as they would at this facility. Convents and monasteries are not licensed by the state and are not inspected by the DHR. I'll repeat that. Convents and monasteries are not licensed personal care homes because they don't provide those services. So before you consider approving the MJCCA's request as a convent monastery, you have to ask them if they will be applying for a license from the state of Georgia as a personal care home. This application is fraudulent. To you, they claim to be a convent, but to the state, they will say that they are an assisted living facility. Otherwise, if they still claim to be a convent to the state, the DHR tells me that they would fine them $200 a day per bed or shut them down. So what are they wanting to build? Well, in Agenda Item H4 before you, in Section I of the amended section of intent, in middle of the 3rd paragraph, the applicant states, quote, the MJCCA intends to construct a 140-unit senior assisted living facility, unquote. Those are their words. They call it a senior assisted living facility in the middle of their application. We all know, of course, that that violates county code. Recall that when DeKalb County was recently audited, no one could prove malicious intent on the $49,000 contracts. But here, under the section actually titled Intent on their application, the MJC details in black and white what their deceptive intent is. It seems that their honesty accidentally came out. So telling you otherwise here makes a mockery of our county, and it is an affront to the citizens of DeKalb. The applicant has also been trying to use the term accessory use, and their attorneys seem to be trying to change its definition for you. It does not mean similar use, rather it is a subordinate use. A swimming pool or a garage are accessory uses. A business may want to put up a wall or a storage shed. An accessory use is not something that is applied for as a primary use, such as an assisted living facility. A synagogue or a church may legally have a home for a rabbi or a caretaker as an accessory or adjunct use, but not 94 homes, as they have requested. It is also my understanding that years ago, when the MJCCA bargained with the DHA and this county commission to allow putting the Weber School on their property, the MJCCA made you a promise. As I've been told, they said that when the Weber School leaves the property, which it has, the land would be returned to forest, back to nature. Though not legally binding, it does speak volumes about future promises for this plot of land, and I think it's sad that the property currently looks like a garbage dump, perhaps in an effort to persuade neighbors to favor something that would clean up the mess that they've left behind with nicer landscaping. It should also be noted that Edenbrook of Dunwoody Assisted Living Facility, a few miles away from this proposal, may stop offering kosher meals due to costs and lack of interest. There have been 2 recent articles in the Atlanta Jewish Times newspaper related to this, covering the difficulty in Atlanta in supporting facilities that keep kosher, as this application now says it will do. In an editorial 3 weeks ago, the newspaper questions the financial hardship that JCC may face with this SLUP proposal. Residents look to the county commission for help to protect our family neighborhoods from McMansions when a home is torn down and replaced with a giant beast. You've just been given a copy or photo of 2026 Womack Road, which currently has a family with children living in it. You may not be aware that this R100 property parcel is not part of the JCC campus, nor was it part of the former Weber School property. This is an addition, an expansion. The SLUP application calls for bulldozing this private home and replacing it with a 94-unit facility and a large parking lot. DeKalb County's tax office has rated this particular home as being in good condition, and the home was actually just purchased a few months ago for $425,000 by the developer who came up with the idea for building an assisted living facility on that lot. You are being asked to permit the destruction of this family home on Womack Road so a 3-story business can be erected. According to DeKalb County records, this plot of land has never been part of the MJCCA property. And when a neighbor and I had a meeting with the developer and expressed our outrage at the proposed destruction of a home on our street, he at the time seemed willing to amend his construction map, but no more, because members of the JCC Board of Directors told us he had approached the JCC with a plan to make money for them on our street, Womack Road, and is not backing down. So we want you to please understand what this developer wants you to approve. Quite a horrific McMansion and the demolition of a home on our street. Look, it may seem impressive that some have shown their support for this idea through letters or en masse, but we are not ruled by mobs. We're ruled by laws. And as I have told this commission before, I am a lifelong member of the Jewish Community Center, and I love and appreciate most of what they do. But I am also a good citizen. I'm a DeKalb County resident, a high school journalism teacher, a neighbor on Womack, and even an Eagle Scout. We are a county of laws, not emotions or feelings. You took an oath to uphold those laws and codes of DeKalb County, and this facility would violate our code. Some who are asking for approval of this application or who signed form letters, they have clearly not read the laws of our county, or they're asking your permission to violate them. And this is unfortunate for all of us. Deny this SLUP. Whether the application violates the 2.8 units per acre, whether it falsely claims to be a convent monastery, whether it wrongly asks to be an accessory use, whether it denies even being an assisted living facility to DeKalb County anyways, whether it violates R100, or whether you want to protect a private home on Womack Road from being destroyed, this application should be rejected, as DeKalb staff recommendation has been for months. Recall that residents, not just me, who live on Womack Road submitted a petition to you showing our opposition to the SLUP because it is illegal. You can vote against this proposal because it demonstrates you are fair in applying the laws of this county to everyone without favor. No more deferrals, please. The good name of the JCC is being destroyed. There are many people across Atlanta who are very saddened, disappointed, embarrassed, and even disgusted with the JCC's leaders who are pushing this, but feel intimidated to come speak before you, though Judaism teaches us to speak out when there is an injustice. So thank you for listening and your understanding and upholding of our county's laws. Please deny this application today. This is the application before you. If denied, the applicant could come back, start over, and resubmit a proper application if the text amendment were approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in opposition? Excuse me, please. Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in opposition? Do we have rebuttal time on these?
8 minutes, 15 seconds.
Would you like to use your time, sir?
I would. I've heard Mr. Hirsch's position many times. We have debated it over and over, and I'm at least able to report that his position is woefully in the minority. And it's also one that we disagree with for a number of reasons, but the reality is the point could well be moot in July. His issue is whether or not the application or the use sought is legal. That question could be decided undisputably on July 22nd. So all we're asking is that that decision be made first, and then this special land use application, which we would still need, be decided afterwards.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion to defer this item to the first meeting of August for a public hearing. And that motion carries. Thank you very much for being here today.